welcome to another episode of Homework Workouts. Today you're going to need an elastic band, but also a set of bottles. What set of bottles? A heavy set of bottles. If you guys are ready, and if you gals are ready, we're gonna get started right now. Stay tuned. For this warm-up, you will need your elastic band, the one you picked up here at UnScared or the one you ordered at home. We're going to do two movements, the band pull apart for the rear delts, and we're going to also do the abduction walk with the band attached around the knees, but then with a loop around it. Now I'm going to have Sanne and Edward demonstrate the movements for you guys. The first thing that you do at home as well is you stand up, you raise the band right in front of the shoulders. Now the idea is that in the start of the band pull apart, there is tension on the band. So there's always tension. From there, you pull the band apart until you get the band across the chest, and you come back in with control and you go out right again. Now what you can do here to scale this is just decrease range of motion. So you can grab less of the band to get to less tension in there, but I always need to see tension on the band when you're going through the band pull apart. So very good for the rear delts. Make sure that elbow, wrist and shoulder stay in one line and that the angle of the elbow stays exactly the same throughout. Beautiful. Now, for the next one, they will start looping the band and they'll start getting it around their knees. Edward's going to go for a regular loop, Sanne's going to go for a double loop. Now what I need you to do there is get it right around the knees or slightly below, and I need you to place your feet in a width where there's tension on the band and the toes are going to be pointing straight forward. You're going to initiate a quarter squat here. So sit your hips slightly back, your knees on top of the ankle, and slightly leaning forward is good. Now what you do here, they're going to start with the right leg, guys. You start right, step out, step left in, but keep tension. Step left out, step right in, keep tension, you guys keep going. So while they're going back and forth, every time they go to a side, it's considered a repetition. But the idea is the toes are pointing forward. You keep pressing your knees actively into the band, and you want to make sure you maintain tensed with the band throughout all repetitions. If you start losing tension, you need to widen the stance a bit and keep actively pressing the knees out. Alright, so just set my timer at 7 minutes. This is considered a quality AMRAP. So you want to get some quality work in. We're aiming for a good burn in the rear delts and a good burn in the buns. So 20 reps of each, starting in 10 seconds with the pull aparts. Again, tension on the band is all we're looking for. And we start at home as well. 3, 2, 1. Game time it is. Long arms. If you have a slight bend in the elbow, which I'm okay with, I just need you to make sure it doesn't change in the angle. So you keep the same sort of bend throughout the movement here. Make sure the wrist, elbow and shoulder stay in line. Now, I'm going to tell you right away that doing this for 7 minutes is going to be very rough and you're going to get a crazy burst. If you have to break this up in sort of sets, that is possible. On the other hand, what I always like to say to myself is, hey, it is just a band. Why am I complaining that much? Here we go. Band around the knees. Toes pointing straight forward. Slight squat in there. And keep driving your knees into the band. 20 alternating steps. Trying to fire your glutes for the work that we have to do later. There's lots of squatting and pressing in today's workout. Also some vertical pulling with upright rows. So we need to prep our delts and we need to prep our quads properly for the intense portion of later on today. Good. So that round took a little over a minute. They're not going to do 7 rounds, that's for sure. Let's aim for 5 quality rounds with the band, and then we'll move on to part 2 of today. Alright, so for the second part today, you're going to need a Tabata Timer. And I already want you to grab it, and I want you to set it. Instead of doing the regular 8 intervals of a Tabata workout with 20 seconds of work and 10 seconds of rest, I need you to set it double, so you have 16 intervals going on. Now what we will do is quickly show you the 4 different movements that we're going to alternate in that Tabata session. And then we're going to start off right away. So instead of now sitting and looking at us, I need you to practice these with us. So let's have a look at Edward and Sanne, and once you see it at home, practice. What they'll do first is a regular wall stretch. So they're going to place their hands against the wall. They're going to be very relaxed as you reach down. They're as far relaxed and reach down as possible, which is stretching the lats, the wide back muscles, attaching there in the armpit, and also the lower back is stretched perfectly. At home, try it out, feel it out. And now they're going to change this. So what they'll do is they start squeezing their abs very, very hard. And there's a very small difference to see there. Once they start squeezing their abs, the tension changes and goes from the lower back and lats more towards the upper back, which we call thoracic spine or T-spine in abbreviation. Just quickly here. It's a difficult stretch because you're tensing the abs very hard, and it feels very different in the back. That's good. Now movement number 3 is a regular wall sit. So if you have a wall at home or a door, make sure you sit on the right side of it. When you sit, you're going to try to go for your regular squatting stance, so slightly more narrow. You're going to have your knees in line with the ankle and with the hip, and I want you to go for a parallel sit. So your upper portion of your leg there is going to be exactly knee in line with the hip. It's a perfect parallel wall sit there. Now, the 4th movement in the actual Tabata is going to be a same wall sit, but very difficult because we're going to go in a wider stance. Let's try this out, guys. So knees tracking the toes still, probably the toes are slightly more out and you probably are going to be slightly closer to the wall. We're going to do this sumo wall sit as well. Now it's not going to be very long in the Tabata, so I do want you to go for a difficult and challenging position. Okay, good. You guys can stand up and you can face the wall. At home, I'll talk you through that 20 and 10 second interval timer. We are going to start this one right now. So we start with the regular wall stretch for 20 seconds in 10 from now. Okay? So start out relaxed and we add some of those wall sit tension in there. We have 3, 2, 1, game time. So relaxed wall stretch, no tension in the belly whatsoever, just hands pressed into the wall and thinking about your chest dropping as low as possible, getting a good stretch in the lats and a good stretch in the lower back. And 10 seconds to rest and hang around and do whatever you want to do before you get into the next one, where you're going to focus on bracing your belly button, sucking in the belly button as hard as you can. Here we go. So second wall stretch variation. Tighten up the abs, pull in the belly button, keep your hip nice and tight as well, and press down your chest so you get your upper back nice and mobile here. Very good, guys. T-spine wall stretch. 3, 2, 1. That is good. Now we turn around, and then interval number 3 will be a regular wall sit in a normal squatting stance. We start in 2, 1, and we sit. Nice and fast. If you want to challenge this or make this way harder, we are doing 16 intervals, so every movement is going to be done 4 times. In that case, you can always opt for doing this with additional weight, which can, for example, be bottles or a bag you can place on top of your legs here. 3, 2, 1, and rest. That is very good as well. Now 10 seconds of rest, and then we go to our sumo stance variation of the wall sit. Here we go. Do make sure that you position yourself slightly closer to the wall because you still want your knees to be on top of the ankle and your toes can be slightly more out. You're trying to think about that band of the warm-up, so you're pressing your knees into that band. That's very important here to do. You got 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. That was 1 round of 4 rounds. You guys keep going. Good luck. Press pause. Okay, so let's talk about the 4 movements that you need to do today in the actual workout. For that, you're gonna need a set of bottles. If you are lucky to have a set of dumbbells at home or a little set of plates, some lightweight, I recommend you to use that. Try them out. Let's have a look at all 4 of the movements, starting with the upright row. You start with the object in front of the body with the palms facing in. From there, you're going to pull your elbow over the shoulder and your hands stay down. Here we go. You want to try to get your thumbs to be close to above the nipple, in between nipple and collarbone kind of position there. As long as the elbows end up above the shoulder, you do have a true range of motion coming along here. I love these upright rows. If you have pinchy shoulders, so it feels very pinchy to get into that position, I want you to substitute this for just a regular side raise. And then you go as high as you feel comfortable going. Here we go. Very nice side raises. That is our first movement. Our second movement is a kind of lifting movement. We're going to do hang squat cleans with the bottle. So you're going to set yourself up, feet underneath the hips, arms are going to be down. You can go to the knee, and then from there, you're going to jump, pull, get under, squat up. Get a couple of reps for me, guys. Reset. Now you don't have to move your feet on every rep here because we're moving lightweight and we want to work on cycling the weight, but it's very nice to get some actual squatting in this with the movement, and we're still doing explosive work and secretly working on our Olympic lifts while we are at home training. Now let's say that we're having trouble with injuries, so you guys can rest. The first injury I want to give you an option for is if you cannot squat. In that case, you're going to kind of muscle a power clean from the knee. Power clean, reset. Now, this might be very easy, but I'll tell you later on what the actual challenge of today's workouts is. Now let's say that Edward does not have the problem with squatting, but has the problem with pulling. In that case, he's going to get the bottles in the front rack and he's going to do back step lunges there. It's 12 reps, so you're going to just alternate 12 steps in total. Good. That was our second movement. Let's have a look at our third movement. We're going to have both bottles start overhead. Then we're going to alternate presses. So one arm comes down and up, then the other arm comes down and up. I do need to see both lock out for a brief second before one moves down. 12 alternating reps. And again, it can feel very light for just doing this for one round, but in the AMRAP format of today, with the goal of doing all this stuff unbroken, it's going to be very rough. Now, if you have an injury in the shoulder that's telling you not to go overhead because that is very painful, I need you to go for a bend over row where one arm stays down and the other arm rows. And then you alternate as well. Make sure that your entire upper back stays active, even with the arm that is extended. So you keep your lats pinched back and down throughout doing the rows here, even for the longer arm. Now, let's have a look at the last movement of this session, which will be a front squat. You're going to have the bottles on your front rack. From there you're going to squat. This is literally half of the rep that we did with the hang squat cleans. So we just add some more quad work into this workout. And in all honesty, you can never do enough volume on the quads if you look at these two moving here. Nice, guys. Now, if you have an injury that is telling you not to squat, we're going to do something else than we did in the hang squat clean because we really want to go for a static lower body movement. We do a simple RDL. Slide knee bend, hinge back, squeeze your butt. And I want you to go down slow, fast up. Boom, down slow, fast up. There we go, beautiful RDLs. Finding the hammies on the way down, finding your glutes on the way up. That was good. Okay, so let's get all of these movements together. Let's talk about the concept for just a quick second. We're gonna have a 9-minute AMRAP of 12 upright rows, 12 hang squat cleans, 12 alternating shoulder to overheads with the bottles, and then 12 front squats. Now, the idea is this. I need you to try to get that entire 4 movements of 12 to be done unbroken without setting the bottles down even once. That might feel simple in the beginning, but it's going to become very spicy later on. So let's try that as a challenge for today's session, and let's see how far we can get doing it. Okay, if you guys are ready, and if you guys are ready, I have my timer set. We're going to start off this one together. 10 seconds. Start in silence and finish with a bang. 3, 2, 1, go. 12 upright rows. This is the isolated upper body movement. We have one of these for the upper body and one of these for the lower body, which is great. You're going to get through all 12 reps. You will feel a quick burn in the traps there. Just be very honest to yourself and make sure that the elbows actually end up above the shoulder. If you do this in front of a mirror, that's very easy because you can be your own judge. After 12, you immediately move on to the hang squat clean. It's perfectly done by the 2 here. Finish upright, squat upright. And make sure you don't do a lot of work with the arms here. Extend with the lower body, shrug yourself towards the object, catch it in a nice deep squat, and standing up. Obviously, every time you land, you want to land in a controlled squat. That means your entire foot is going to be on the floor. Try to catch it in the middle of the foot and press through that as well. Then after 12, you keep the bottles overhead in the start, and you start with alternating the arm that's pressing until you've completed 12 repetitions in total, which yes means 6 aside if you want to count in that manner. Then after the 12th one, you immediately move on to your front rack position. You keep the bottles there, and you start doing your 12 front squats. Then you'll see that a round probably takes you a little over a minute and a half. We have 9 minutes of an AMRAP. So if you really push this, really push this, you might be able to get 6 rounds in this one. Ooh, that sounds like a big challenge. Here we go. So they are finishing up their round of 12 front squats. You guys need to continue with this one. Maybe you put the bottles down for a second, or you just keep hammering this unbroken. Good luck, and see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.